Bring our audiences some details over here about the modus operandi. We've already brought you some details of the extended timeline. Let's take some more details in right now. Sagar met Manu Ranjan and the others via Facebook. We're going to be talking a little bit more about how they communicated right now. As we've told you a little earlier, they met on a fan page. A few of them were part of that group, and that's one of the first actually pieces of information we shared with you yesterday. Okay, 9 months ago, they decided to protest at the parliament. That's when they decided they were going to do this. They decided not to throw smoke bombs initially. Instead, they decided to hold them in their hands. We've told you this earlier, that it is to appear as if it was more secure also that they decided to do that. Now, the smoke bombs were purchased by Amol in Latur. Sagar had also hidden some pamphlets, it's important to point out. They were going to throw those pamphlets. That never took place in the actual event. Now, as we told you, these smoke bombs were purchased by Amol in Latur. He then took them to Kurla, as you can see. Sagar collected them. So we're talking primarily about Sagar and Amol. And then, as you can see, he bought the shoes. He got a cobbler to make a cavity in the shoes so that he could place the smoke bombs in them. Let's go back to my colleague Arunima to understand more. Arunima, one key question that remains for audiences that I'm seeing a lot is this question of, was it always Sagar's plan, was it always Manu Ranjan's plan to be in custody after carrying this out? Do we have any clarity there?
Yeah, you see, they're all inspired by Bhagat Singh, and if I take you back in history, what did Bhagat Singh and his group really do? After they attracted attention, as they wanted to, of the British government to their cause, they stood there shouting slogans, ensured that they were taken into custody, and even during the trial process, they kept trying to gather their thoughts together and argue even in the court, so that in the next day newspapers, their thoughts, their reasoning find space in the headline. So if that is the ideology this group was inspired by, then it is very clear that they wanted their voices to be heard. The slogans that they were shouting, Tanashahi nahi chalegi, saying that this government is not listening to us, we were left with no other option. So it's clear that they wanted to court arrest. They wanted to ensure that they are covered, that they become headlines in newspapers and news channels, so that their purpose, their reasoning is communicated to the rest of the country. No doubt there then that they were trying to even escape being arrested.
Thank you, Arunima, for bringing us that context. Let's move very quickly right now to some more context here. So what are the changes that are going to be taking place starting today? So these changes have already been put in place, some of them, and they will be put in place further. Let's take a look. Number one, we've talked about this a little earlier. As you can see, the two men jumped in from the visitors gallery onto the tables below. That's the videos you're seeing on the screen behind me too. Now, the visitors gallery is from now on possibly going to have glass on it. So jumping in that manner can be prevented, and body scanners are going to be used for visitors. Remember, the smoke canisters that we're talking about were hidden in the shoes. So body scanners to some degree will prevent that from happening. These were plastic, so it does remain to be seen if the scanners will be able to sense that. But another big change, the movement of assistance. And we'll talk about this and the next change in just a second, media enclosures. So it's by preventing too much movement of assistance, by keeping the media in one area, it'll essentially make it much cleaner and easier for security officials to navigate. Okay, we're going to bring you more reactions. We've got the reaction of the parent of one of the people that's been taken into custody. We're going to play that out for you. Take a look.
हमारे बच्चे को फंसाया गया है। वो हमारा बेटा ऐसा नहीं है, वो तो रिक्शा चलाता था यार। एक ही बेटा है मेरा, वो मेरा सहारा है, वही मेरा सहारा है। वो मेरा बच्चा निर्दोष है बिल्कुल। मेरा एक ही बेटा, वो रिक्शा चलाता था और कोई कुछ नहीं, बस वो देशभक्त के बारे में बात करता था, बस इसी बारे में हमको। वो बहुत अच्छा लड़का था।
वो हमारे ख्याल से उसको फंसाया जा रहा नहीं, इस चक्कर में कुछ नहीं था। और किसका दोस्त है, तो ये कह रहे हैं कि अब जैसा उसने करा है, अब जो इतनी बेइज्जती हमारी हुई, इज्जत खराब हुई, जो नहीं होना चाहिए, हम नहीं चाहते थे ऐसा हो। बेटे ने जो करा उसको, जो जैसा उसने करा उसे भुगते। वो जांच हो, जो जिसने गलत किया उसको पकड़ा जाए। हमारे घर वालों को न परेशान किया जाए। वाइफ का 2 ऑपरेशन हो रखा है, वैसे भी टेंशन में है। हम चाहते हैं बिल्कुल वो परेशान न किया जाए।
It's time right now for a short break. On the other side, in just a few minutes, we're going to return with all of the country's top stories. This is the Breaking News Show on CNN News 18.